You got questions going out of your mind. Someone with answers now that's hard to find. Like the what and the why and the how stuff works, or just where to go to avoid all the jerks. She's Gear Abby, Gear Abby, Gear Abby, advice that doesn't suck. Gear Abby.
Hello there, my outdoorsy friends, and welcome to Gear Abby, where we tackle the controversial, weird, obscure, and taboo topics that other outdoor podcasts refuse to touch. I'm outdoor educator and writer Shawnté Salabert, and I'm here to answer your burning questions about our relationships with outdoor people, products, places, and pastimes. And I want them all because remember, there are no dumb questions, just smart advice. All right, good people, here is how it works. You're going to send questions to deargearabby@gmail.com. That's right, deargearabby@gmail.com. And I'm going to answer a couple of them each week here on the show. And as always, the moment you've been waiting for, joining me today and every single week, whether you like it or not, my partner in gear, the producer of Gear Abby, and a guy who puts the ban in banter, Colin True.
Are we getting banned somewhere? That's amazing. I hope so. That means we're doing our jobs right.
Yes. I think somewhere someone has said, I don't want this.
Good.
Good. It's not for everyone.
It's
okay?
not for you.
It's just for
Speaking
you.
of it not being for you, I did, Shawnté, this last week. I finished my trifecta of online polls.
Oh God. Okay.
And much like a bad action movie franchise,
Yes.
the third installment got the least amount of votes. First poll
People are
out
over
like
your
a bang.
shit, Colin.
Yeah. Second poll did okay.
Yeah.
This one not so much, but. We are ending with a bang because the poll was, what would be the best topics for Gear Abby? Well, it was for Gear Abby, but what would be the best topics on an outdoor-themed OnlyFans channel? And the options were wildlife sightings, using, air quotes, backcountry rescues, of course, the kinky version of all these things, outdoor gear, and group activities. And the winner by, not really a landslide, wildlife sightings, which I was a little disappointed that group activities only got 29% of the vote.
I will be honest, I
tied
think
with
the group activities was my vote.
Yeah, and then outdoor gear, only 5%. And that one seemed the most obvious. Like,
I
we're
mean,
talking
we
like
covered
sex,
it on
sex
an
toy
episode.
central here. Yeah, right? Like, I mean, what are you talking
They're like,
about?
we already heard that on the podcast. It's nothing.
Yeah,
we won't learn anything new. Oh, Colin.
I guess we're going to retire the poll for a little while anyway. We'll think of some other good ones and come back with them.
The royal we, which just means Colin, just so everybody knows.
I made sure I tagged you in this one. And I did think of this poll specifically after editing the last episode where you said, don't put up anything about the OnlyFans channel. I'm like, well, now I'm definitely going to do that.
Oh, my God. I forget sometimes that I have to treat you as if you are my little brother. Like, I know I've said it before that you are the little brother I never had. That's actually older than me, because I like to say that too. Oh, Colin, what would we do without you? See here, I'm thinking about like all of these other things. I was like, what are we going to talk about today? Is it going to be my REI annual refund of my whopping $18 and $19.28? Real windfall.
Did I miss that? Is that in my mailbox? Probably?
I don't know.
Did you just get yours?
I did. It's got, you know what? Did I ever tell you I was once on the cover of one of these mailers?
I know. Yes.
It's a real iconic moment. My friends and I got to do some pretty cool REI photo shoots and video shoots back in the day. $19. Maybe you didn't get one. Maybe you have no money coming, you loser.
It could be. I definitely bought some things at REI this past year. I
Not
don't know.
enough.
Like it just feels like they're hanging on to like, they have to hang on to the co-op thing, but it's like, just be a retailer.
Like the co-op part is in italics. It's like, it's the LaCroix it's the whisper of co-op.
Yes, we are a co-op. We will issue you something at some point.
It may be a coupon to spend money with us. Maybe
next year it will be, here is a tube of Noon tablets.
Ooh. Hey, listen.
That is
I've talked about the delicious drink you can make with those. The old trash.
Yes, that's true.
Never forget.
Yes.
I mean, all you need is some dirty ass lake water and a little bit of whiskey. And you're set. So I would take that. I would take that reward.
Would you rather have your sub $20 reimbursement or a free tube of Noon?
Sub $20 reimbursement. Let's be real. Which I may go spend on Noon. I don't know. Actually, I don't like Noon anymore. I've moved on. I've Nooned on.
To Scratch? Hammer?
No, just whatever's on sale in packets. I'm agnostic as far as brand goes. It's more like there used to be this great brand though I think it was called Foxhound Fuel or something. It was actually made here in where I live. And they had a matcha lime flavor that I have been wishing I could replicate, but I think it would just be bad if I tried.
Yes, that's probably not a good
It was
idea.
so good. I would chug it every morning on the trail. I would just like put it in my little, I take a running flask in my backpacking. I have a Six Moon Designs Swift V pack, it's got like a running vest style harness system. It is amazing. You just put all your snacks and everything in there. But yeah, I always have a running flask in there now I just do coffee in the morning, like cold coffee. But oh my God, the lime, it was like having a mojito, but like a grassy mojito.
Do through hikers or regular backpackers that do multiple days, are they on board with salt tabs? Because that was what I found running long distances was I just got really sick of the sweet drinks, and that just water and salt tabs what really worked better for me.
Yeah, I mean you can also just eat chips or something. I think we've talked about this too. I feel
chips.
like chips. Sorry, I gotta go. I gotta eat something actually. Very hungry today. No, I don't know. I carry salt tablets with me as an emergency situation, but
Yeah.
that's it because I'm not a deer. Like I don't need a salt. Like I just.
Well, you don't sit there and gnaw on them. It's like a capsule and you swallow them as opposed to
I know,
drinking
but
a
that's
sugary electrolyte drink.
boring. That's boring, Colin.
Yeah, but I get tired of sweet stuff when I'm outside for too long.
That's because you're so salty. Colin, I was worried there for a minute. I was like, how am I going to one-up Colin? Because I try with whether or not you realize that I'm trying every episode.
What up me? How?
I don't
How
know,
did
just
need-
emotionally. in the banter.
I guess if
world.
I'm bringing the best out of you, then
Thank
is what
you.
I'm going to say. That's how I'm going to be.
Aw, you are.
yeah.
Well-
I'm your J.K. Simmons to your Miles Teller, Whiplash style. Like, all right,
Very niche.
not my tempo, Shawnté.
Oh my goodness. All right. You know what? Let's kick things off. I think the people would like to hear, I mean, they love the banter. We do get a lot of comments about it, but I think they also want to hear some questions and answers. So let's get into it.
All right, let's do it. First question of the day. Dear Gear Abby, this summer, I'm teaching what I'll describe as an outdoor ethics course.
Why is it what you'll describe? Why is that a euphemism?
I guess they put it in quotes. Let's see what they explain. And I'm trying to figure out how to finesse one particular topic. So I figured I'd outsource to a real human instead of AI, with the question being, what's your take on geotagging on social media? Good thing, bad thing, don't care? Signed, JB.
Oh, very mysterious. So there's a lot of mystery in
Black?
this. Jack, thank you
Oh my
for
God,
emailing.
Jack.
I love it. You went from School of Rock to the School of Outdoor Ethics.
He's
great.
a backpack, Jack Black backpack.
Jack
So
Blackpacker?
maybe, come on, JB.
I didn't know
Come on,
that. Are you
Jables, come on the
sure?
pod.
Is he really?
Yeah. No, he really is an outdoorsy guy.
I think
Yeah.
we just need to get him on the show with Flea, who is also a backpacker,
There you go.
always hanging out in the Sierra. See, guys, just if you build it, they will come. So Flea sent us an email. Now that we've got Jack Black, clearly who obviously wrote this, JB, Jack Black. The other upside to asking me instead of AI is that unlike AI, I cannot be programmed to spy on my fellow citizens. So you've chosen wisely, sir. Okay, or person. I don't actually know this person's gender. I'm just assuming it's Jack Black now. Like I have
For the
his.
sake of this email, JB is now a male because it's Jack
now
Black.
Jack Black.
So,
That's exciting. I wonder were you ever a Tenacious D fan?
of course.
I once, Lee, do you remember Lee? Lee.
Yeah.
Lee was a friend of mine on MySpace back in the day.
Wow.
I was
Look at that name drop.
one step removed from JB.
Look at you. Well, then
Until
clearly,
he emailed me, now we're basically best friends.
Yeah, fuck off, Lee. We don't need you anymore. We got direct.
That's right. We've got direct
by
from the
JB.
source. All right. Well, here, let's dig into this mysterious JB's email. So, for the very few people listening who have never heard of geotagging or maybe even social media, and if you are one of those people, I wish I was you.
Yeah, I'm so jealous.
Right? Oh, you live in an era I wish I could experience. So what JB is talking about is using things like location tags, hashtags to identify places that you post about online. We're talking about Instagram by and large because this is about people posting images and now videos because we've pivoted to video real hard. But so, for instance, you might post a photo of a beautiful waterfall and then tag it with the name or the location so that other people can go find it for themselves so they can continue the beautiful cycle of taking photographs for the gram that they saw other people take for the gram. So it is a real hot button topic in the outdoor community, and it has been for like a decade at this point, I want to say. So you're a little late on the uptake, JB, but I guess you were too busy rocking, so that's fine. So I'd say this, like people fall into one of two sides on this. So the people who are against tagging outdoor locations usually think that this just brings more human traffic into environments that can't handle kind of going viral and the, the effects of that. And to be honest, in a lot of cases, they are not wrong. We humans are, in fact, lemmings when it comes to, seeing hyper-saturated photos of really pretty places. We just cannot help but follow. So I think there's some pretty obvious examples of how this has turned out badly. We've seen this with the super blooms here in California, places like Horseshoe Bend in Arizona, Hanging Lake in Colorado, even in, the over-tourism that's happening in places like Iceland. So as geotagging kind of took off on social media, tons of people flocked to these places. They just wanted to see it for themselves or snap some of those sweet selfies. And, there has been some fallout. Flowers and other foliage gets trampled. Trails have gotten eroded. People park in super asinine places, among other things. So, it actually got bad enough that the Leave No Trace Center, which we've talked about before on the pod, actually issued guidance for what they called kind of like responsible social media use. And that's stuff like add some context about places, encouraging people to engage in stewardship of, the things they see on social media. So yeah, that is one side of things. And I've also, I don't know if you've seen this, Colin, but I've actually seen, and I feel like somehow you would be a part of this. I've seen some, you know where I'm going. I've seen some of the anti-geotagging people sort of poo-poo it as this self-centered facet of influencing, like whether or not you even have a following. Like, look at me, I went to the cool place. So I feel like, Colin, are you there?
Oh, I mean, I'm so conflicted on this entire topic. I was trying to save my things to the end. It's like, this is, yes, that is a thing. Yes. That is definitely look at me. Look at me. There's definitely an element of some other things that we talk about regularly here on the pod that I don't want to step on what you have to say. It's so it's just like, there's one side I'm like, fuck off. On the other side, I'm like, you fuck off too. So I just like,
I mean, that's you in a nutshell, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of is. It is. Should I get that tattooed somewhere?
Yes. Anyway. I want you to actually just get a picture of like a you sitting inside of a nutshell. And it's just going to be you with two middle fingers. Actually, I might get this tattoo.
This is kind of an awesome tattoo.
Is this our gearabby tattoo? I'm
into it.
At least
Can we all be wearing gearabby hats?
Yeah. Listen, Sarah, I know Sarah Gensert, our art director, our creative director. What do we call her? She's our art person. She's a creative art director. Oh, awesome human. Sarah, I hope you're listening to this episode because this is all we want. Just Colin.
It's the sticker we need.
It's the sticker we need. It's the sticker that people didn't ask for, but absolutely the one they need. I want it on a water bottle at every REI. So I can go buy it I can't even probably afford it with my $19 returns.
It's a really expensive sticker.
Yeah, just give it to me for free if you can. So that's one side of things. On the flip side, the people who are kind of pro-geotagging, so naming where you're at, where these pretty pictures are from, they come down on the side of increasing accessibility and wonder is sort of how I would put it. So as far as wonder, I think that's kind of pretty obvious. Like, pretty places are inspiring. They allow us to dream big. We feel a sense of awe. And there is, of course, plenty of science behind this idea of the importance of awe in human health. As for the accessibility part, and Colin, you don't even know what's about to come, but you're going to know when I say it. They essentially consider the anti-geotagging folks to be gatekeepers. All right, go ahead, Colin. I know you're going to invoke the newest member of your weird outdoor Marvel superhero lineup. Please.
The gatekeeper.
Yes. As soon as I looked at this question, I was like, oh yeah, if all I need is for Colin to say the gatekeeper in that voice. And so we're done now. That was a great topic. Next
That's the end of it. We're over. Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed that, Jack. Maybe Jack can play the gatekeeper in a future movie.
Yeah, come on, Jables. Get on this for us. Let's go.
Let's do it, JB. All right. So let's talk about this gatekeeping. Tell me again, what is it?
Oh, okay, sorry. The gatekeeper. Sorry,
This is just for my personal use. All right. So just the thought is, just because you take a photo of a place doesn't mean you own it, and it doesn't mean that other people shouldn't be able to go there. So there has been a long history of what I'd call kind of like insider trading in the outdoors. People have their special fishing spots, campsites, backcountry locations, and they do not want to share them because they don't want them to become overrun. They want to sort of preserve these little slices of heaven for themselves. And the idea is if you tag these cool spots, other people can enjoy them too. So this is the non-gatekeepers are like, yo, listen, this isn't just your private Idaho, okay? Like other people deserve to go here too. Or at the very least, be inspired to maybe learn about them, even if they can never go there. So as far as where I fall, and then I'm going to turn it over to our conflicted Colin here, I do think in a way we're kind of way past the point of worrying about geotagging itself. Like, come on, just scroll through Instagram. You're going to see all sorts of natural wonders and where they're located. The cover has been blown, people. There are no secret spots.
Seriously.
Like, get over it. I mean, we humans are filled with curiosity. I think that is a central tenet of being a human being. And I think it's a good thing. I mean, I've been inspired to learn about places when I saw them online, whether that's social media or other places like, I don't know, a blog, a website. Do you remember magazines? People used to write about things in magazines. We would find them there. So I'm not interested in becoming the gate. Oh, you just say it. You say it.
The gatekeeper.
That's right. Mostly because I can't say it like that. But I don't want to say, like, listen, my interest in a place is not more important than someone else's. Even if I really enjoy being alone in these places, they're not mine to be alone in. And honestly, I'll be honest here. I don't think I've ever used a geotag on social media. And I have a friend, my friend May, like really is always like, why don't you tag the places? I'm like, honey, it's because I'm lazy.
Yeah, right.
I think it's also because when I post a pretty picture, and I'm sure, Colin, you have seen this, it's generally going to have some sort of like deep thoughts by Jack Handy shit going on.
I love deep thoughts by Jack Handy. I am of that
my
age,
vibe.
yes. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, but I mean, I'll always answer people's questions if they're like, where did you take that? I will always say it, but it will come with a deep thought. So I don't know. What are your deep thoughts, Colin? Where do you fall on all this?
No, you summed it up. I mean, I think this goes back to what we were talking about that it led to the inception of, the gatekeeper, right? Because it's like, if you made a pie, like a pie chart of all of like the places you could go outdoors and then created like, what's the sliver of that pie that has been ruined by geotagging? I mean, it would probably be almost invisible. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, yes, I'm sure it has happened, but more people have probably been able to go see things interesting because of it. I mean, yeah, to your point, like, I don't know. I think you and I, well, you definitely, and even I think consider myself a little bit more, a little more informed than the average bear about how to find places to go outside, right? And I still, the other day, I found just scrolling through Instagram. This is one reason why I can't give up the app, because I'm like, oh, look, there's some awesome waterfall in San Diego County that I didn't even know existed. I'm like, oh, I want to go look at that. And it's like, that's how I discovered that place. And like, so I just like, I get it. I think it sucks if some place has been ruined because of it. I think there's probably a pretty small amount of those places, though, or it was probably places that were already a little overvisited. Yeah. And then maybe they've had a few more busy Saturdays because of social media. But it's just like, this is the world we live in. And also, it's kind of like everything else with social media. Everyone has to learn. And at some point, maybe some things get, we do.
We're all a bunch
we
of
don't
idiots.
get better unless we have these options. So
it's true.
I say pro geotag. Go for it. Maybe if you're so worried about it, add a little caption instead of a Jack Handy deep thought. You could go, "Hey, don't be an asshole and ruin this place if you go visit it." Like chastise the person before they even get there.
I mean, you can also add the deep thought.
Oh, well, you
have to.
You have to.
I think at the end of the day, too, I want everybody to remember this. Like, you're seeing the same places are just showing up over and over and over. How many times have you seen Horseshoe Bend without even realizing? A lot of people don't even know that's what it's called. You've seen it a million times. Did you know there are so many other places that are equally beautiful in this world? Go out and find some for yourself. I don't know. If you want your own private Idaho, pull out a map, learn how to read a map, but pull out a map. Go to your local, go to state parks. Just
go to Idaho.
Go to Idaho. That's right.
No, there's another recurring theme on this podcast, right? It's like, that's a good point. Like, yes, these places are incredible. If you see them, you're going to see them and go, wow, this place is incredible. There's a billion other places that nobody's talking about that you could go see.
So go there and then post it.
feel like you got a little fist shaky there. You're on my squad for a hot moment
Thank
there,
you.
Gear Abby.
I was inspired. I mean, it was like you said the gatekeeper 3 times, and that summoned my inner fish shaker. So
That's right.
thank you for that.
That's the Beetlejuice corollary. Just, or is it Candyman? Which came first? Probably Candyman.
Probably, no, Beetlejuice. I think Beetlejuice is older. I feel like I was a kid when I was doing the whole banana, what was that? No, the banana song. What is the song when they're on the stairs?
Oh, Deo!
That is the second. Please don't send us, if you're BMI or ASCAP, I don't want a licensing fee for all of these beautiful songs we're singing on today's episode. Like Lee by Tenacious D or Deo by, what was it, Harry Belafonte?
Harry Belafonte, yeah.
Oh, man. All right. Well, as much as I would like to continue singing on this episode, I don't think anybody else wants that. So how about you hit us up with the next question?
Okay, next question. Here we go. Dear Gear Abby, I've been a casual runner for a long time, but I have a big goal to run a trail half in the fall. I've never done that distance. I've mostly been a 10K runner, and a friend suggested I start wearing compression socks on my runs. Maybe this is my ignorance, but what do these actually do, and why would they be good for my training? Signed, many thanks, Gloria V.
Is that Gloria Vanderbilt, or do we just have like famous people? Do you think Gloria was wearing jeans when she wrote in?
Was she out running in those jeans?
Maybe that's why she's already got compression going on. Then maybe they're like skinny jeans. She's
Maybe.
like, why do I need extra socks?
Not really trending these days, but who knows?
I feel like half the people listening will have no idea who Gloria Vanderbilt is and why we're invoking her name and jeans.
Google it.
Yeah, just Google it. Maybe you can find an influencer post about it somewhere if Instagram existed in the 80s. Well,
thank God it did.
Yes, thank you. For all of us adults who were children then, we truly appreciate it. But listen, Gloria, Vanderbilt or not Vanderbilt, you are in for a real treat because compression socks are one of life's little joys. That's right. I think, in a way, this is kind of a straightforward question, or actually, maybe it's a straight upward question. That is because this is how compression socks work.
Oh my God. It's really, that was a little bit of a 1, 2, 3. Oh, I get it.
That's right. That's right, Colin. We're recording this on a Friday late afternoon, and all of my brain cells have left the building for the day. So
Right.
if you're wondering why
have they
we
been
sometimes
compressed?
Yes, they have upward. Just like the blood in your legs gets compressed by compression socks, they do the thing they do is get that blood moving, and they keep it circulating instead of just pooling around at your feet like a lazy little creep. That is what compression socks do. So how do they do this, you ask? It is not sheer willpower. It is kind of like a big, aggressive shin hug. The tightest weave in these socks, so they've got different weaves usually going on in them. So there's going to be a real tight weave down at the bottom, and then it's going to usually loosen a little bit as you move up the sock, and that is called graduated compression. It's like the ombre of compression, if you will.
Or really well educated because they've graduated.
Oh, that's true. It is there's a master's of
The
PhD
smart
in
compression.
compression happening here. Truly intelligent beings, these socks. So I will say, because they're tighter than most everyday socks, this can mean that it feels a little bit like you're losing the battle against the laws of aerodynamics or gravity or something every time you try to pull them on, especially if you're going for the knee-high version. But I do think it's a good way. Maybe, Colin, I don't know if you're a compression sock wearer, but this could help you get out a little bit of your aggression, just like yelling at the sock as you're trying to wrestle it onto your foot.
I'll save my opinion for the end of your response, Gear Abby.
Great. I can't wait. Truly. All right. So compression socks, besides being a little difficult to get on, they're not bad at all. They're actually great. They come in different strengths. So if you don't want the ones that feel like your leg is trapped in a vice, you can find some that are more like everyday wear, some that are meant for recovery, some that are more therapeutic, that help people find relief from things like, edema and POTS and shin splints. I used to think, I will say, I was a little prejudiced against compression socks. I thought they were just for people with circulation issues or like people taking, long plane rides, but they're actually great. So here's the thing. Really, this is a fascinating thing to me. Maybe it will not be to you, but so these socks have a strength rating, okay? And it is measured in the very unsock-like quantity of millimeters of mercury. That sounds incredible.
Sounds like a 90s pop band or something like
It
that.
was an alt rock band. Colin, come on. It was. I think Jared Leto was maybe the lead singer. It was his band before 30 Seconds to Mars. Millimeters of Mercury.
I guess they're alt rock. I don't know. I think
Yes,
they're
they
more in
are.
a
What
little
do
like
you
pop
think they
rock,
are? No.
like Train, maybe kind of like that
No,
vein.
you're just thinking about Drops of Jupiter. That doesn't work here.
actually-
Okay.
Oh my God, that's exactly what
This
I
is
was
the Train cover band, Millimeters of Mercury. Wow, I like that your brain did that, though. That is wonderful. I
Wow.
like knowing that somewhere in your brain, your little neurons were like, we are going to make this connection.
we know this sounds familiar, but you don't know what it is.
But
so,
you're just
yeah,
going to say it because
nope,
this is
that
what
was
we
a
forced
thing.
you to do.
But really, at the end of the day, what's the difference between Drops of Jupiter and Millimeters of Mercury? I mean, it's honestly like, what's the lesser than version of the other, if you think about
I
it?
don't know. It's all about the squeeze, man. Did you know though? So millimeters of mercury, the measurement, not the weird 90s band that we're making up. It is actually a measure of the pressure of a 1 millimeter high column of mercury. Like what pressure that could create. So
This is kind of a random way to measure this, isn't it?
Right? It does. It does. It sounds absolutely made up until you realize this is the same way they measure blood pressure. I was like, I'm sorry, my entire life, I never knew what those numbers meant. So if your pressure is high, like Colin's probably is every time I remind him that I've never seen a single Lord of the Rings film,
Goddamn travesty.
like let's say 135/80, that means that your blood is pushing against your arteries at the equivalent pressure of 135 millimeters of mercury at exertion and 80 of them at rest. So now you know. Now when you go to your doctor, you could be like, have you heard the cool band Millimeters of Mercury? How's my blood pressure doing when I listen to them? Please tell me. That's right. Don't say you've never learned anything while listening to this podcast. Just full of facts.
If you ever say that, clearly you're not listening to this podcast.
That's right. We're constantly learning and teaching, but mostly bantering. So anyway, what does this all have to do with running? Gloria, we're going to come back to you here. We're coming back to the plot. Glad you asked. So a lot of runners actually wear compression socks after their runs, and that helps with recovery. So that is because the same process, that pressuring of the blood to keep it moving upward, actually helps move metabolic waste, that's stuff like lactate, out of your muscles a little more quickly. And personally, I just think it feels nice to have a little pressure on swollen feet after a long run. So it's like, maybe mental recovery as well, a little emotional recovery, which I always need after a run. It's usually in the form of chocolate, but whatever. There are also benefits to wearing them while you run. And I'd say two of the biggest ones that I know of are to keep that fresh blood. Can you say that in your voice?
This is a new vampire podcast. It's
Please.
the Fresh Blood Pod.
Colin,
What, fresh blood?
can you say fresh blood in your voice? Just so I have it on tape.
Fresh blood.
I hated that. Okay,
I
don't
know if
ever
works.
say
Does that work for you? I
No.
don't know if that's right.
No, don't ever say that again. Sorry that I did that to everyone. Okay, now that we're all terrified, it will keep the blood pumping through your muscles, and it will help cut down on potential swelling, especially when it's hot out if you wear these things. Some people also swear by that extra support that you get by that tighter weave for things like shin splints, plantar fasciitis. I will say it didn't really help with my plantar fasciitis, but what did help was wearing Birkenstocks in the house and out of the house every day for a month, and then I didn't have them anymore. So that's the true secret. So if you're listening, Gloria, which you should be since you asked this question, if you want to try some out, I do recommend starting with the knee-high socks versus the ankle ones. Like I have both. The thing is the knee highs are just going to give you more of that benefit because they're going to keep the compression moving further, keep that blood kind of further up your leg. It's more. It's a powerhouse. It's a whole leg experience, Why just settle for a foot experience when you can have a whole leg experience? That's the other podcast we're going to do.
Should have had that in the OnlyFans poll.
Damn it. Next time when I do a poll.
There we go.
But yeah, so I love a little calf relief. Those knee highs are going to help with that. I do like wearing the ankle socks on hot days or on long hikes because they do help my feet feel just a little bit less swollen. Even though my homies at Injinji haven't yet made compression toe socks, much to my dismay. I wish they would. But yeah, that's kind of the scoop on how compression socks work and why you might use them. And Colin, you've been sitting here patiently, like a good pig. What do you think about compression socks? Are you a fan?
I'm I recognize that there are, especially some medical applications here, especially like older folks,
Medical.
and, things like that.
Medical
Yes.
applications. Okay. Are you about to
But
say
for
you
the
think they're
most part,
bullshit?
I'd say overrated.
Oh my God. Can someone...
Overrated.
We just need someone to send us a question about cold plunges, because then you're going to really hear Colin at his overrated
please send
best.
that question in, listeners. No, look, I mean, Gloria, I don't know, Miss Vanderbilt, I don't know if you have, what your current state of things are, how old you are, all those things. However, you're doing a trail half. I think there's diminishing returns on we're doing something like this, unless where Shawnté did, and you did say this.
Mm-hmm.
It sometimes, a lot of people, it just feels good.
It just feels good.
And from that point of view, I can't argue with you. But I just think, I don't know. I tried. I've run in them. I've worn them. I've had sleeves. I've had socks. And I found they did nothing for me other than, it kind of feels good. Now, there's times when maybe afterwards you want to put it on. It feels like it's doing something. I don't know. I never really got that experience. But that's just me.
Whatever, loser. Today's episode of Gear Abby is presented by the one, the only, the most delightfully alliterative outdoor retailer in the game. That's right, Garage Grown Gear.
Garage Grown Gear.
Garage Grown Gear. Are we doing a weird echo now? Thank you.
I was just trying to harmonize with you.
Wait, Garage Grown Gear.
Grown Gear.
Okay. Want to see the latest and greatest coming from the coolest and newest outdoor brands? I know you do. Head over to garagegrowngear.com, click on that new button, and all shall be revealed, including the following. Want a fleece dress that packs down to the size of a burrito? You know I do. That's what you get with Ewer's Treasure Dress Air. And it's made out of Primaloft's Fresh Air fabric, and yours for only $149. That is...
You think they had to pay off PBS or was it wait, sorry, where's Fresh Air? When did Fresh Air run? Was that on
NPR?
NPR, thank you, sorry.
NPR's Fresh
something.
Air Dress. That's a little different. You know Gear Abby loves a small, furry mountain rodent. That's right, I sure do. And that's why you should order up the coconut mango granola from Angry Pika, or Angry Pika. Angry Pika. I'm going Pika here. Angry Pika Food Co. for the low price of $9.49.
It's a great logo. You should check it out.
I will.
The pika looks very angry.
Probably in its anger, it still looks extremely cute.
It does.
Lastly, if you're looking to upgrade your sleeping kit, be sure to check out the full range of quilts from Zen Bivy. From ultralight sheets to ultralight quilts, a good ultralight night on the Ultralight Trail is just a click away. Whether you're a UL backpacker or just an outdoorsy person who wants to see outdoor innovation at its best, you'll find something to love when you head to the official gear shop of Gear Abby, garagegrowngear.com. Sometimes when I think about compression socks, I think about weighted blankets and they're kind of weighted blankets for your legs. And I feel calm. I feel calmer now, Colin. Do you?
I guess I see how you connect those dots.
Don't kink shame me, okay?
There's no kink shaming here.
How do
I'm
you
just
know
I don't know
compression
if
isn't my kink?
The feeling of compression
I love
equals the feeling of the weight. But I guess I'll just go with you on this one.
Thank you. I want a lasagna, a layer cake, a baklava of compression. I want a cat laying on top of a weighted blanket while I'm wearing thigh-high compression socks. That's the OnlyFans content that people want, by the way.
We didn't know that Gear Abby was a closeted Garfield fan, but we got cat lasagna and weighted blanket in the same.
I grew up in the 80s. It's
big Jim Davis guy, are you?
That's right. That's me. Big Jim Davis guy. All right. Maybe Jim's written us. I don't know. Maybe Garfield has written us. What do you have next?
That would be amazing. And we encourage any fictional cartoon characters to write into deargearabby@gmail.com.
Yeah, send it. We can transcribe your meows into English. It's fine. Send us what you got.
Won't cats go after the marmots?
You don't know.
Okay. All right. Next question. Here we go. Dear Gear Abby, proud owner of a rather extensive gear closet here. Thing is, most of what's inside comes from a time when camping gear was heavier and bulkier, so I don't feel terribly knowledgeable about the ultralight fad. Ooh,
the fad.
Ooh, them fighting words for a lot of people there, buddy. What are some of your favorite innovations in ultralight gear, particularly ultralight backpacking gear? Sincerely, old school fuddy duddy.
Perfect sign off. All right, Fuddy Duddy. Good job. Nice question. I don't know about the use of the word fad here. We clearly took that personally, but I do love nerding out on ultralight. I am surrounded by DCF and alpha and titanium as we speak. I just live in a castle made of those things. But I know somebody who's even more nerdy about it, shockingly. So we had to bring back the man, the myth, the legend, the founder of Garage Grown Gear, Lloyd Vogel. Hey, Lloyd, how's it going today?
Hello. Yeah, Bad.
Are you
Bad.
upset? Did we start? Are you going to fish shake on this episode too?
Yeah, I can shake my fist a little bit virtually for the listeners, but
maybe
I
don't.
think okay, I won't. I actually already did. But I think the thing about ultralight as a fad is it's not a fad. I think largely backpacking and what good backpacking gear is right now is just ultralight backpacking gear. If you want to go hike longer, faster, more comfortably, it just makes more sense to carry less stuff.
It does.
It's not I mean, we've seen REI come out with a bunch of they have a quilt that is their own thing. You see some of Osprey's best selling packs are their ultralight packs. Ultralight is becoming something that if small specialty shops don't carry ultralight stuff, people aren't buying their backpacking gear because there's just if you could choose really heavy stuff or really light stuff and it costs about the same, it doesn't really make sense to make your trail experience harder. So that's obviously my incredibly biased take
You're
on it.
just gently biased. So you're not out there with an external frame pack. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not, and I don't see the trend of backpacking swinging back to being harder, more difficult, and heavier.
Right.
It just doesn't feel like that's the evolution of what backpacking is. Where very much I think the evolution of backpacking will be a continuation towards ultralight.
Yeah,
I just like to jump in. I was like to jump in and say, you can argue when the inception point of ultralight backpacking was. A lot of people would say it was Ray Jardine's book. And
right.
Would either of you like to garner when that book was published?
The father of ultralight. Oh, I have that book here.
Don't look. No cheating.
I'm looking at it. Trail Life by Ray Jardine.
I give a lot away on the cover if you looked at it.
I think it was early 80s, right? Or late 70s?
Actually, no, 1992.
92. Oh,
yeah.
I was...
So if it's a fad, it's a 30-year-old.
It's a real old fad. Well, all right. Funny thing is, by the way, before I have you actually answer Fuddy Duddy's question, this was not planned, Lloyd, but you were just on Owen Comerford's new Outdoor Unfiltered podcast the other day talking about whether or not ultralight was going mainstream. Were you not?
Yeah, pretty much had the same rant that I just gave. I gave on
Wonderful. I'm glad people get to hear it twice. It's like Ultralight Lloyd Week over at the Rock Fight Network.
That's
so
right. Yep.
Thanks for putting yourself out there. I know it's very hard for you, a very private man who's never on social media. So thank you.
And you know what also is not a fad, Shawnté, is our first
Lloyd?
ever two-time guest, Lloyd Vogel.
I know. Lloyd, you're kind of turning into, you're going to be a regular, and I don't mind it. You are a Midwesterner.
Fine being a cameo bit player. I feel like I kind of played that role with the Rock Fight, and I'm happy to be whatever you need me to be, whatever you need me to say. I can be like that that expert witness who just pops in, says something, and leaves. As long as I'm getting that fat paycheck, it's all good.
Joke's on you, Lloyd. All right. Well, let's dig into Fuddy Duddy's question, which is pretty simple. For once, we have a very straightforward question. What are some of your favorite, and maybe it's not straightforward at all because this is actually, now you got to think about 30 years of ultralight, but what are some of your favorite innovations in ultralight backpacking gear? Like the things that made you go, this is a game changer.
I'm gonna twist his question a little bit, but it's gonna get at the essence of it. Is I think generally if you have a more traditional kit and are looking to be able to lighten up, the way that you do it is slowly, gradually, and over time. So, you don't have to go from a 20 to 30 pound base weight to a 10 pound base weight overnight. It's probably not going to feel good for you to do that because it's going to feel like you're just ripping off a Band-Aid. And it might not even work with the style of backpacking that you enjoy. There is something more, you're bringing less stuff. It means less creature comforts. Yes, lighter means that you're going to move faster when you're on the trail, but it might mean that you're bored as hell when you get into camp because you're not, bringing that hardback book. That's not a word, is it?
Hardback. That sounds.
What's the?
That
you're
sounds
the writer.
like. I'm not going to kink shame you, but yeah. You're close. You're close. Hardback. No, I don't know what it's called. What you just ruined me. Hardcover.
Hardcover. There we go.
Wow.
Boy. But I think some of the things like quilts have been such a phenomenon over the course of really the last, I'd say 10, 12 years of really becoming something that is increasingly mainstream. It feels like every company that makes a sleeping bag also makes some iteration of a quilt. That's a great way to be able to lighten up and not really sacrifice any comfort. And one could argue add a lot of comfort through that.
Oh, yeah.
I think other innovations, like nothing's new about this, but some of the most preeminent sleeping pad manufacturers are also the ones that make the lightest options in terms of the X-Lite and the Nemo Tensor. These are legacy brands that make the best, lightest product, and largely they've been doing it for years. So those feel like, and Shawnté, like anyone who backpacks knows, like your big three or your big four or whatever, or where you can have the most weight savings. So if you're transferring to a lighter quilt, you're, just going to, and some of the pad technology right now, like you are really not losing a lot of comfort for weight. Like the NeoLoft Thermarest sleeping pad is like I would sleep on that on a friend's floor, and you could also backpack with that. And it is literally the most comfortable thing in the world.
Literally?
Well, not
literally. No,
exactly.
we don't kink shame, but we also don't want over exaggeration on this pod.
It is a comfortable pad, but not the most comfortable thing in the world.
Great. Thank you for your revision.
You bet. I think there's just a million of really good tents out there. And if you really like a freestanding tent, there are amazing options. Like the Nemo Hornet as a one-person tent is like just over £1, and it is easy to set up, just enough space for me, and it's great. And that is a product that I love. There's a million different trekking pole supported tents that all will do really great things, from Durston to Z-Packs to tarp tent. There's to Gossamer gear. There's really good options there that can get you from a 3 to 4 pound tent to a 1 to 2 pound tent, and not really have it be like you're sacrificing a ton of stuff. Maybe a little bit of vestibule space, maybe a little bit of foot room that you're not actually really using. And then, you look at it last with a pack. Like packs are generally what I would suggest folks replace last, because you need to make sure that all the stuff that you have actually fits in your pack. And it's also the thing that you're going to carry on, obviously, with you for the duration of your day. So if you're not enjoying that pack, you're going to have a bad time. So, we've seen it with people who they think they want to go ultralight, and so they go from like a Deuter pack that weighs 4 pounds to like a frameless ultralight pack from Palante, and they're like, whoa. I don't know.
With the same kit inside.
My jam.
I've
don't lighten anything else up, just the pack.
Yeah.
I had a friend who did that, and his pack fell apart while we were on the PCT.
Oh, no.
It just literally, like, the seam ripped one day and his stuff just fell out. It's like, well,
it's like someone snapped it away. It's just like pieces of dust floating off,
Well, it's not meant for that. And I think with a lot of ultralight gear, if you want it to perform in a way that it's not designed to perform, you're going to have a bad time.
Yeah.
So I would say for our fuddy-duddy, there is so much gear out there that, like, the ability to engage ultralight backpacking is as accessible as it has ever been, and it is just becoming even more accessible. And there are so many forums on Reddit, and every website has a different opinion about it. And like largely, you really can't go super wrong with any of the kind of established products. Like a quilt is literally nylon and down. I don't know. There's like dozens of companies that make pretty much the same thing, different baffle construction, but ultimately, like, unless you are really techie and specky, you're probably going to be fine with a hammock gear, a Catabatic, a UGQ, and Enlightened Equipment, or anything that you pick. It's probably going to serve you fairly fine. And there's a whole bunch of rectangle bags out there with straps that will like pretty much do something pretty similar, unless you have a really discerning, preference for certain stuff. So I think if you want to go ultralight and replace your gear, like, I can't tell you what the best option is for you, but just start Googling stuff and try out some used gear options if you can, because that'll just be cheaper to start.
That's true.
Can you argue that since if you use that 92 Ray Jardine book as like the inception point of this whole thing, like, isn't almost the category just become ultralight? I mean, just like by yes, there was a market shift towards this is
No.
way different than what you've had for the previous 30 years. But I feel like the industry has probably just implemented so much of the technology and material developments just into the category that, I mean, it's almost like harder to it would be almost harder to create a super heavy backpacking kit unless you're just truly buying cheap, like off the shelf car camping stuff and trying to jam it in a backpack to take on a trip.
I don't know, dude. There's also people who value comfort, and for them, comfort is going to be a bigger pad. It is going to be a heavier pack. It is just because those things feel better sometimes on your body, especially if the rest of your gear is heavier. Like your pack is going to be more substantial. But I don't know. I think what Lloyd's saying though is that it is definitely the trend is toward that. In the, quote, mainstream. It's not just an underground thing. It's not just Ray and his acolytes,
Yeah.
No.
And I think if I'm thinking about myself and I transfer myself back 15 years and I was thinking about like what the preeminent gear, if I was going to like kit myself out with like the best backpacking gear, I think 10 or 15 years ago, I would have thought like, I'm going to get a Marmot sleeping bag. I'm going to get a Sierra Designs tent.
Those were still the brands. Yeah.
Those were still the brands that when people think of like top of the line backpacking stuff, you're thinking about stuff that is not ultralight. I think when you're talking about like what the best backpacking gear is right now, those names are not necessarily a part of the conversation. And the brands that have not evolved to be able to have ultralight options are the ones that are becoming those zombie irrelevant brands. And then you see the Mountain Hardwares coming out with ultralight lines. You see, Black Diamond getting into the space. And to me, it's weird to see some of these big brands starting to put ultralight in front of things and have a, 3.5 ounce down jacket and be like, okay, yeah, that's like competitive and it costs like $500, but like, there's clearly an idea that like that is a shifting narrative that like folks are prioritizing that. And if big brands are getting into that space, they're doing it because they think that there's market share to be able to gobble up, which I think is both encouraging for ultralight and I think a little scary for smaller brands that are like, okay, what happens when we have to, when suddenly this niche isn't just like our little niche that we get to like hang out in and be kind of a big fish in a small pond. So I don't know. It's an interesting evolving space to be in.
It is. Fuddy-duddy. Well, I have to say, Lloyd, if I'm hoping for one innovation in the space, because nobody asked me, if I wanted one innovation in the ultralight space, and I know exactly who I want to test this product, I just want like a pair of Alpha Direct overalls, and I want Colin to wear them. And he smiled because he knows that I want him to wear them because he is a staunchly never overall kind of guy. He's like a never nude. He's a never overall guy.
He's a never nude.
That might be the way
Shout
to get
out
me into some
Tobias.
overalls. I could see slipping into some Alpha Direct overalls.
Cozy,
but,
right?
I don't want any of that.
Bob would for
Libsyn.
sure make that for you.
That's what I'm saying. We just
I don't want
Sam
Carhartts or
Roberts over there.
Libsyn or anything like that. I want Alpha Direct overalls.
Are you listening, Sam?
I think he could make a 120 GSM pair of overalls that just had like a little like middle thing that said Colin on it. I think
Even better.
Cool.
The weirder it gets,
so
the more
beautiful.
I'm into it,
Okay.
Like a lost kid who needs to have a name tag to be identified at the
Colin.
zoo. Colin.
Shanté's gonna put one of those like kid leashes
can't
on
wait.
me so I get to control me at the trade show kind of thing.
yeah.
It's got a little ring on the back for the leash attachment.
A little bungee.
Yeah.
Oh man. See, this is Lloyd. This is why we're gonna have you back again because I get to double team on Colin when you're here. So I really appreciate that about you.
Shame.
That's right. We don't. But thank you, Lloyd, so much for joining us. We love that you can take a little bit of time out of your busy schedule to wax poetic about ultralight with us. We are going to have you back again soon, whether you like it or not. And I think you're going to become like our special correspondent for ultralight gear, which if we make an acronym out of it, you know what that is? It's SKULG. So it's not as good as Colin's, which is pig, partner in gear, but SKULG, I think we can get down with that.
I think I can.
Skull was like a name of one of the orcs in Lord of the Rings, I think.
Nerd.
I can agree to have that as be the name tag on my alpha.
Okay, we've got Colin and SKULG.
Yeah, I want to be pig then if we're doing nicknames. I mean,
okay,
come on.
I'm not going to say no to that. All right, Lloyd, we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Another episode, another Lloyding, another Colining.
We have Lloyded.
We have Lloyded, we have Colin, we have Fish Shaken, we have Gate Kipped. No, we haven't. Just Colin. That's it for this episode. That is it for this episode of Gear Abby. Until next time, send your burning questions about your relationships with outdoor products, people, places, and pastimes over to deargearabby@gmail.com, and I'm going to do my best to answer them or invoke a Lloyd that can. And of course, head over to your podcast listening service of choice and subscribe, rate, and review to support the pod and make my day. And follow us over on Instagram, where we don't geotag, but we also don't geekcape. Geekcape? Gatekeep.
I'm not editing that out.
Gear Abby Pod on Instagram. That's right. In the meantime, today's episode was produced by David Karstad and Colin True. Art direction, as we mentioned, provided by the highly talented Sarah Gensert, who's going to work real hard on that graphic of Colin in the nutshell, shaking his middle fingers to the
Double
sky.
birds, baby.
I'm Shawnté Salabert, and remember, there are no dumb questions, just smart advice.